Good morning. Welcome to the channel. And it is a gray, cloudy day. Although it's really nice and sunny out so far, it's going to be another hot day here. I'm Gray Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment. And if you don't mind, think about hitting the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Oh, I still didn't get around to maybe doing a new video for the Cyber Frog warts and all giveaway, but I didn't know. I'll get to it eventually. I know that Teresa had commented on that video and said, "Can I be entered?" But I'm trying to get some other people interested, and maybe that would, actually really, I don't know. Anyway, we will see what happens. If I have time today, maybe I will address that, make another video, try to promote it. If nobody's hitting, I'll probably just take that video down the last video of the giveaway for Cyberfrog and just cancel it and then do a giveaway for something else. Got to find something that everybody will be interested in. And, well, once I get done with this book, like I said, I will get another copy, and I'm going to give a copy of this book away, and it's 50 Things That Really Matter. And today's is number 36, and it's titled Sympathy. Years ago, my wife and I owned a flower shop. Shortly after opening the doors for the first time, I came to love many things about our business. Being surrounded by breathing colors, the pleasure of helping people celebrate their most joyful moments, the contented tiredness that crashed ashore after the Valentine's Day madness was over. But there was one thing I dreaded: funerals. I know all too well about funerals. What could I say to people who were suffering the most unspeakable of losses? What could I do when the words they needed to say were lost in heartbreaking sobs? How should I respond when a complete stranger had no way of truly knowing what they were going through? How should I respond when a complete stranger, had no way of truly knowing what they were going through? To say that I feel awkward and useless is a giant understatement. I had no idea how to express appropriate sympathy, or even if I should. Then, about a year after we opened, we hired a most remarkable woman who showed me the right way to react. Wendy was good with people. She had as easy a smile, a delightful sense of humor. She had an easy smile, a delightful sense of humor, and an immediate camaraderie with each person who walked into our store, no matter their walk of life. Yeah, I got a little emotional there for a minute. Funerals, She talked and talked and talked as she helped customers. And when they left, they were almost always smiling. I know, I watched. There was only one time I heard her fall silent: the first funeral flower order she took. The family came in to select the arrangements they wanted. The woman whose husband had died was struggling dearly to keep her voice intact long enough to place the order. It wasn't long before she broke down. Wendy didn't say a word. She moved from behind the counter to find a chair for the woman. She eased her into it. She sat beside her and let her cry. Quiet, not speaking. She brought tissues when they became necessary. She touched the back of her hair when the moment asked for it. The woman's crying slowly came to a stop. She swapped her eyes, and she looked at Wendy. And she smiled, just a little one. She said, "Thank you." It was then that I realized that sympathy doesn't mean saying anything. There isn't anything you can say to help someone through grief, whether it be death, a divorce, or a lost job. Sympathy asks for only one thing: your presence, to find a chair when necessary, to supply a tissue, a home cooked meal, a walk in the park, to offer a caring hand and a warm embrace. You do not need to worry about having the right words. Just bring yourself. I done read that once to myself and I did not cry or anything. I think, if you can tell, I'm pretty tired, but I did sleep. I slept like a log. Done been up. Uh, Made a few eggs to feed the dogs. So I don't have any dog food yet. I gotta go get. I gotta get a ride to the store today. Hopefully, I don't get in an argument with someone that has a day off and just doesn't want to give me a ride. But after thinking about yesterday, I could have reacted a lot differently. I didn't have to get all irate about. Well, I didn't really get irate. I just told them, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just basically somebody yesterday. Yeah, they had a day off, but this is the first time they've worked in like I don't know how long. They literally have not worked in months. They live off a child's disability check instead of like trying to work themselves. And that's the truth. A fly just covered up the camera. Um, but now that they started working a few weeks ago, oh, lo and behold, then they want to complain because it's their one day off or whatever. And, they're not even working full days. Like 4 hours a day. For God's sake. I think they're like 30-something years old. And they won't get a job and keep a job. They'll get a job, they'll work a job, and then they'll quit it. Or they'll get fired. And that's really none of my business. But it gets made my business when I see people not doing what they're supposed to do and take care of their kids or take care of their lives. I don't have children, never had children, and can't have children. So at least I'm lucky in the sense that, not lucky, some people want children and can't have children. I can't have children. I'm not saying I don't want children. Been with plenty of people. I've been around plenty of people with children. A lot of children love me. They like me. I'm not a bad person. I like children. I like to, uh, I like to be the best kind of model of, like I like to try to present myself in a way, even though I might look kind of weird, but I try to be respectful and act a certain way and try to teach other people's children when I'm around them, the best I can, how they should be, acting and appropriately and stuff in front of people and all that. Some people don't have any clue on how to, you know what I'm saying? If you are a parent, then you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not, but I know how hard it is. Like I said, I've been with single women that had children and helped them. I've got plenty of friends that I help do what needs to be done. It just is aggravating when you see in the world so many people producing children and not being able to even take care of themselves. And that's just disheartening. It is just the way of the world, and that's just the way it is. Um, and I'm not going to let that get me depressed. The reason I kind of got a little upset reading this is because I didn't realize how funerals have shaped my entire life, probably. I've been to funerals all my life. I remember at 3 years old being at a funeral, at 4 years old being at a funeral, seeing my Uncle Earl dead, but they told me that he was sleeping instead of telling me what was going on. Remember seeing my Aunt Lena Mae dead. Probably told me the same day he did. Matter of fact, I remember feeling bad because I wasn't crying, so I had this big red piece of chewing gum when I was a kid, and I was at Aunt Lena Mae's funeral, and I held that hot piece of gum on my tongue as long as I could to try to make myself cry. I remember seeing my brother dead. You know, he was 19 when he died in a car wreck. I was 8 or 9 at his funeral. Well, I didn't see Mom dead because she burned down in a house fire, you know, an arson house fire, 2002, September 30th. They said it started about 2:30 in the morning, and at least 3 people were involved in setting the fire, and it's still unsolved to this day. I've not ever made a complete long video just going into depth about all of that, and just like I still need to make another video extensively about Philip taking my finger off for me in my kitchen with a pocket knife and a rock out of conviction, my conviction, my conviction. Because if I believe in somebody that did give their life for everybody, then I can afford one little finger. And I don't recommend it to nobody else. But we will get to that story one day again. I have told it, but not in detail. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying that I'm tough, but I didn't cry. The only regret I have is I didn't get to keep the finger and wear it around my neck, and that's about it. Because the dumb police turned it into the hospital, and then when I tried to get the finger back, the hospital said, we already incinerated it. Well, you dumbasses. That was my finger. You know? Police officer in the ER demanding who cut your finger off? Tell me a name. I said, why? Because we're going to arrest him. I said, why? I had him do it. I asked him to, so you're not getting a name. Oh, we're going to find out who did it. Well, they never found out. Come on now. And if you think I'm crazy, go ahead and feel like that. Because I'll tell you, the doctor told me in the hospital, I'm the same. I'm totally, completely sane. He saw how I got from point A to point B, and he understood my conviction. But he looked at me and he said, you're the craziest MFer I've ever met. Imagine that. The doctor said that. He said, I'm completely sane. I'm of sound mind. But I'm the craziest motherfucker he's ever met. And I did cuss. But that's part of the story. And if foul words hurt your ears, excuse me, but I don't use them a lot here. I try not to. I try not to cuss too much in my personal life, although, you know, sometimes I do. We all fall short. Well, I'm gonna get off here, man. This kind of overextended longer than I wanted, but it's been a good one. I think I poured out some good stuff here. I hope you guys relate to it. I don't know. Comment below. What's your experience with funerals? Death in general? I'm not afraid of death. But it does hurt when people ain't around or here physically. Even though Mama's with me every single day and Sarah's with me every single day. They're all with me. Till next time, Craig Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment over and out, ditto.